Alright, so here we are, the final week of the season, and this is actually qualifying. This is the first week of the 1.18 update on console, which is pretty cool. But I did not post a video from last week's race because I was not feeling well. I was feeling a little sick. I did very poorly in race 1, and I was feeling so sick that I sat out race 2. So we are at the final race of the season here at the Nurburgring. It's going to be a 50-minute endurance race, and this race, I'm going into this race not really with too many expectations. At this point, I kind of feel like, you know, where I stand with the season total is kind of locked in. I'm not really competing for a top 3 position or anything of that nature. I'm pretty much locked in somewhere between like 7 or 8. Maybe if I had a really good race, I could get up to 6th, but it's not likely. I'm probably going to be stuck somewhere between 7 or 8. So this is the last race of the season. 50 minutes. So here we are in quali, and I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do this commentary over future races. It has been kind of fun to watch and recap the races, but I might just do highlights and post the highlights of the races in the future without commentary. But either way, I was feeling like somewhat quick at the Nurburgring, and especially with the McLaren after the 1.18 update on console, the McLaren went from feeling fairly slow to pretty quick, which was not that it was slow. I don't think it was a slow car before. It was still probably one of the faster cars, but it definitely wasn't one of like the top 3 cars, and now it feels like it might be one of the top 3 fastest cars with the current balance of performance. So we get the start of the race here, and you can see everybody's going in 4 wide. Is that like almost going in 4 wide? So I'm trying to avoid it. I catch a little bit of the inside grass and it shoots me out, and somehow I don't hit Real Agent in the Lime GTR there. Very scary moment there. So I'm working on trying to get these clean starts to the race, and watching my heli Corsa, making sure that I am avoiding any contact with anybody, as a car, I think that was Eggy, kind of gets a little oversteer in front of me, and he leaves space there, which was really nice. I slot in behind him.
I'm going to take care of my pit.
And alright, we're safely through the first few turns, and I'm not 100% sure what position we're in because there's always that glitch at the beginning. There we are. We are around 13th place, so not great. I'm contemplating at this point whether to, and Eggy oversteers out, and if you saw in the rear view behind, nope.
Nah, you're good.
Not yet. That's actually coming up in a second. I spoke too soon. But I'm contemplating whether to go into the pits on lap 1. There's a part of me that doesn't want to get too stuck into traffic. There it is. There's the oversteer. And then if you watch in the rear view, he accidentally comes back on track and takes out the person behind me. So definitely an accident on his part, but also really benefited me. That was kind of nice because now I have a safe gap behind me and a little bit of a gap in front of me. So I decide not to pit. Kind of changed my mind as things start to spread out at the end of the first lap. And it's a 50-minute race. I might get stuck behind someone later and really need that pit stop. We see Real Agent off to the left there. But I started to, as the race went on, I started to feel faster and faster and faster, but definitely not up to the pace of some of the front runners. Skunkle, the other Lime teammate, did super well in this race, especially in qualifying. and was definitely like on the pace. As we have another car, Orpheus, spin out, another team line member. Orpheus spins out, and we are 7th. We are 7th now, so moving forward in time, 43 minutes left in the race, and we are still sitting there in 7th place, and I have not taken my pit yet because, again, we're just not getting too caught up in traffic, so no need to take a pit. And I'm gaining on Johnny Fingers, who coming into this race was competing for top 3, competing for a league top 3 finish. So he's definitely like in full focus mode, trying to get his best result he can get, or at least I would assume. So we're still chasing Johnny down, making a little bit of progress on catching up to him, and he's got CC in front of him. Both pretty fast guys. So I'm feeling like 7th here is not a bad place to be. Some of the guys in front are definitely some of the faster guys on pretty good pace. And that was a pretty clean lap. I'm not sure if it was my fastest lap of the race for the race total, but definitely feeling like a pretty clean lap. And look at that, through that chicane, really closing the gap there on Johnny Fingers.
That's a good lap.
Up into 6th, I guess we passed somebody who was pitting, and we are getting fairly close. I mean, definitely not close enough to make any kind of move, but we're getting up there. We're getting to the point where we can smell Johnny Fingers' exhaust.
There's a reason he's in first place.
.38 minutes left, and we are still sitting behind your boy Fingers, not making too much progress on him. And then we go wide there, make a little mistake, and then Fingers can build up the gap there. So definitely made a little mistake there. And look at that gap that's increased. And then also Crack looks like he's about to have a look down the inside through the fast section, and he backs out. So we're about to have a tussle with Crack behind us, also in a Ferrari.
How you doing up there, Stu?
I mean, I don't know how exactly the balance of performance is going to play out with the new 1.18 update for consoles, but it definitely felt like the cars felt more even to me. I know this was just one track, but previously the BMW had felt so much faster. And then, so Crack makes a pass there. Off of my mistake, I left him the space, really trying to preserve my safety rating more than anything, as well as trying to preserve my race and keep it clean. So we're still sitting in 7th. Crack is still in front of us. Glad we didn't battle or try to force anything with Crack, because he actually makes a mistake, spins out, takes too much curb, and I am able to make an easy pass on Crack. No drama. And then Orpheus leaves space for me because he's a lap down. And boom, we're back up into 6th place. So glad I made the decision not to battle or fight with Crack or defend. Ended up benefiting me this time. Could have definitely gone the other way, and could have hurt me if I would have been behind him and not been able to make a pass on him and been losing lap time. But all worked out in the end. 31 minutes left, and we're making pass on Johnny Fingers. So while Johnny was trying to get into the top 3 to make a podium, well, he did get his podium finish actually. While he was trying to get into, one of the top positions to try to fight for first or second place in the league, he did not have the best race, and ended up still locking down 3rd place in the league. One more thing with the 1.18 update that I noticed is just the windscreen looks so much more realistic, where you get like bugs on the windscreen and those sorts of things, which is kind of cool. Alright, so with 25 minutes left ish, 26 minutes, we're up into 5th. Still haven't taken our pit though. So the person in front of us, oh actually, that's just on the lapping, yeah. The people in front of us also maybe haven't taken their pit, so no stress. But in front of us we have Real Agent, who is a lap down. So the goal here is going to be make a pass on Real Agent without too much drama. That lovely lime GTR looks so gorgeous. Alright, so that's about half the race down, and we're up into 4th place because our race leader, or one of our race leaders, just took a pit. AZ. Now we're up into, we're up into 4th. So we got CC ahead of us, and now 18 minutes left. Up into 2nd place. People pitting in front of me. So this is not a real 2nd place, but feels good to at least be running 2nd for a minute. The only person in front of us is Iceman, who also has not pitted, so we're not gonna be able to pass him. And I dive into the pits there. Kind of a last-minute decision. I think I was losing my rhythm a little bit and just wanted to take like a little mental break and then find my rhythm again for the last 17 minutes of the race. I think I didn't do the best pit there when I entered and when I dropped off the jack, so I lost a little bit of time in the pits, but nothing disastrous, nothing too terrible. $16 minutes left, so we came out of the pits still behind CC, so basically in the same position we were before. No one passed us in the pits, and now most of the people around us, it seems, have taken their pit, or everybody around us, it seems, have taken their pit. So maybe this is a true 6th place we're in now. So that would feel like a pretty good finish, especially starting, I think it was 10th that I started. And we got Lime teammate Mikey behind us in position. And we're gaining a little bit on, it seems like Duncan and CC are kind of holding each other up, which, is nice for me, and I'd love to get in on this battle and see what we can do. Yeah, so let's try to close that gap a little bit to both Duncan and CC. the beasts. And through the chicane, I don't know if it's the McLaren or just my driving, but I seem to throughout the race be gaining a little bit of time on people through that chicane.
Luckily, there's some.
Could be just that I was able to carry more speed through there with the McLaren. And the McLaren does a decent job taking the curbs. And we really catch up to Duncan right there. And we are now ready to join this battle. But then Duncan grabs some of the exit curb, probably some of the AstroTurf, loses it. I'm trying to be really careful through there to make sure that he doesn't rejoin and tag me, so I'm kept it a safe distance, and we make the pass there on Duncan. And now we're chasing down our boy CC, who only joined partway through the season, but it would have been interesting to see if he had joined from the beginning because he had a lot of really good finishes. I bet he would have been around the top 5, maybe even competing with Johnny for that 3rd place position had he been there the whole season. We're starting to drive fairly aggressively because we have 12 minutes left, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe I have a chance in 12 minutes to catch CC. But here we go, moving 3 minutes forward in time, and look at that gap being built up. And then Skunkle 2 spots ahead, sitting in 3rd place, kicking butt, which is awesome. Team Lime teammate. It's probably a little bit risky on the curbs through a lot of this, but I was able to hold on to it and not mess up. Alright, last 9 minutes. Let's see what we can do. It's starting to feel like at this point that we're not going to catch CC. But let's at least continue to push and see if we have any chance to make up ground. And also, Duncan's only 1 second behind us as well, so we got to be aware of that. But overall, it's been a pretty consistent 50-minute race, if I do say so myself.
Click return to the garage and then
2 minutes left, and we are still in 5th place. 4 second gap behind, 2.5 seconds ahead. It's feeling like this is going to be the spot that we are in at the finish of this race. It doesn't feel like we're going to make up any ground. So as the season comes to an end, I did end up finishing 7th overall. My goal was top 5, so I'm a little bit bummed about 7th overall. But I did have to exit one race early because I was feeling sick, and missed another race also because I was feeling sick. So potentially could have done better, could have maybe challenged Skunkle for that 5th position, but my Team Lime teammate got 5th, so pretty hyped about that. And 7th place out of, you know, the 20 or so that were competing regularly, not too bad. Definitely could have been better. I think with the new update and the balance of performance, the McLaren might be a better car for next season. So I might stick with the McLaren for our next upcoming season, or might be trying some other cars. I have some We have some arrive and drive, just some practice races on Wednesday nights coming up that I probably won't do commentary over, but I'm going to try out some different cars for those arrive and drives. So we'll see how those other cars go. We'll see if there's any car that I start to gravitate towards more. But super fun season. Proud of 7th place. Wish it could have been 5th or even 6th, but either way, it was a good time. The next season is going to be a really short season, just a short, like 3-week season, I think, and on the Italian tracks, Imola, Misano, and Monza. And that's going to hold us over until the USA Track DLC is released. So that's what we're doing. And Sunday nights now, I am streaming and racing GT4s.
We're just totally guessing.
So check those out as well for a new TRC GT4 season.
That's the only one that doesn't have.
But with all
like
that being said, that is me crossing the finish line in the end of a really fun season. Congrats to Arizona Racer, congrats to Taxi and Johnny Fingers, who are our top 3 this season. But it was a really fun season. I look forward to more TRC The Racing Club action. Thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, I just ended so early. That's kind of funny. I thought I'm kind of cracking up now, and I'm gonna leave that in there because I thought that was across the finish line to end the race, but there's an entire another lap. So now you get to watch one more final lap, and I'm not gonna repeat all the stuff I just said because that would just be silly. So instead, I'm just gonna ramble. Well, let's look at the time gap. There's still a 3.5 second gap behind me, a 4 second gap in front of me. Yeah, nothing exciting is going to happen, we can assume, for this last lap. But that Team Lime McLaren was feeling good all season. Team Lime for life. GT4 might be a Team Lime Alpine. That's been the car that's been feeling good in GT4 for Sunday night racing. Maybe not the fastest, but boy is it fun. And then next season, maybe Team Lime Porsche. Who knows? Alright, but that's across the line, and that's the end of the season with a little fist pump as we get a top 5 finish in that race and a top 7 finish in the league. So thanks for watching, and peace.